Hello and welcome. I'm Nemara, and thank you for joining me for this short presentation on how to reclaim your fertile health. And so over the years, I've worked with many women and couples who've spent years, months trying to conceive and had no success until they started doing the protocols and the methods, the tools that I share through the Reclaim Your Fertility program. And I want to tell you why that is. Why can somebody like my sister, for example, go through 5 years of trying, even several failed IVF cycles, and nothing works, never pregnant in her life. And then at the age of 40, due to some very simple processes and tools, can become pregnant naturally and go on to have a healthy full-term pregnancy, and of course then go on to have a beautiful baby. But first, before I share that with you, number one, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And I hope that you take something from today that helps you on your journey. So this is the kind of text I love to get these days. And I don't know if you can see it properly, but basically it says, "Hi Nemara, I have some good news. I'm pregnant. 3rd week as confirmed by doctor." And this is from another client who I worked with recently and still working with, even though she's pregnant. But she was trying to conceive for 3.5 years, married as well, and also never pregnant in her entire life, and was thinking of going for IVF before she came to do this program. So again, what is it that she did in a matter of weeks or just a few months that turned their story around? So I'm going to share some of that with you today, because there's some very foundational things for our bodies that just aren't addressed, I mean, in our general health, and certainly when it comes to our fertile health. So I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things that you can do today that will positively impact your ability to conceive and then to go on and have a full-term healthy pregnancy. So first thing is, and it's so simple, people almost get annoyed when I talk about it, but it's water. Yep, water. For me, it's really surprising the amount of people who I speak with. I don't work with everybody I speak, but I speak with a lot of people who are on this journey to conceive. And the amount of women and men who just do not drink enough water. And not, of course, that anybody needs a biology lesson from me, but ultimately, if you don't drink water, your health's going to suffer. And if you're not drinking enough water, your fertile health is going to suffer. Why? Because a sperm is 96% water. That's what it is. The egg is over 90% water. And when those two come together and marry into an embryo, it's also about 90% water. It's not until a child grows and develops into more of an adult that our percentage of water, the percentage of water for an adult human, is about 75% water. So we are made of water. And if you're not drinking enough, it's going to be difficult to conceive. The other thing about water is water helps your body. It helps your body to move hormones around your body, which we need. It also, for women, cervical fluid needs to be a good pH, like a certain balance, so it doesn't actually kill sperm. And so if you're not drinking enough water, the pH in your body is going to be struggling to be in balance, and the pH of your cervical fluid is not going to be great. It's not going to be effective, and it may actually be impairing your partner's, the ability of your partner's sperm to travel up through your body, through your cervix, your fallopian tubes, to the ovaries, and it just may not be working well. So water is essential. It's essential for the creation of sperm, the healthy development of sperm. It's essential for the healthy development of an egg. It's essential for the sperm to be able to travel once it enters your body to where it needs to go to get to your egg. And it's also very essential for the creation of the amniotic fluid and that sac when the time comes that you do conceive. So water is beneficial Actually, no, I take that back. Water is crucial. So you should be and must be drinking at least 2 liters of water every single day. And for reasons I won't go in here, I do suggest that you put a pinch of good Celtic sea salt in there as well. So for him and for her, drink water. Without it, you are going to struggle. The other thing about water is we need water essentially for our bodies to work at all. And when we're dehydrated, and you will be dehydrated if you're not drinking enough, when we're dehydrated, what happens is your body will send the available water to the parts of your body that literally keep you alive. And so if you can imagine, if you're somebody who's dehydrated, the available water in your body is going to your brain, it's going to your heart and your lungs first, because these are the parts of our body that literally keep us alive. And there is one organ in our body that, is not essential to our survival. And that's your womb, your reproductive organs. Not essential to your survival. In fact, you can have your womb removed and you still survive. So when your body is dehydrated, when there's a lack of water in your body, the organ that's going to suffer the most is your reproductive organs. So again, it's crucial. Number one, take this from today, drink water. Without it, you could be struggling for months and years, literally struggling to conceive, and all you're missing is hydration. So do that. On the subject of hydration, this is great for men and women, and it's an old traditional Chinese medicine remedy. First thing in the morning, to increase your level of hydration, I suggest you drink a warm lemon tea. So basically a warm cup of water with a squeeze of, let's say, a quarter of a lemon, like squeeze a quarter of a lemon in there. It's amazing for hydrating your body after sleep, for getting your system of elimination moving. Like it gets movement moving, if you know what I mean. So it gets your number twos going. So it starts to clean out your body straight away. So yeah, drink warm lemon tea first thing in the morning with water, and you start the process of hydration and also cleansing. So again, it's an ancient Chinese remedy for fertility. So do that, do use that. Obviously highly recommended for the woman, but also I highly recommend for men. Having a clean, healthy bowel and gut is really, really important for your ongoing health. And if you want to be a dad, you're going to need your health, of course, on the way. So water, and follow that up with drinking lemon water first thing in the morning. These are 2 fertility tools that are available to all of us. So please do use them. The next thing I'd like to share with you is we need to cleanse our bodies to create the right environment to conceive easily, and also to create the right environment to carry and grow a baby, and then of course to deliver a baby easily and healthily. So something that I get my clients to do straight away when they start working with me is I get them to use a bathroom footrest. And you might be saying, oh, what? A bathroom footrest, which is essentially just a little footstep that when you use it, when you sit on a toilet, gets your knees up above your hips. Now, I know I'm diving straight into stuff that generally your health practitioners aren't talking about, your doctors aren't talking about, your fertility specialists aren't talking about. Why? Because a lot of them just don't even know, or they're not connecting the dots. You need to have a healthy body for all of this to work well. And of course, the stuff that I'm sharing is not part of their training either. So bathroom footrest, you can make one, you can buy one, you can invent one, as I did once upon a time. But basically, the human body, let's just think about it, the human body, and even today, 3/4 of the world squats to release. 3/4 of the world squats to release. And the people in those environments, if they have food, are healthier than most of us in the Western world. Why? Because we were never designed to sit on a seat, which is what a toilet is, and release. Never. So all these ailments that people experience, constipation, severe, moderate, chronic, hemorrhoids, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, bowel cancer, on and on it goes, polyps, diverticulitis, all of these maladies of the bowel, they're being caused by several things, but one of those things is the fact that we don't go to the toilet properly, and most of us never have. In fact, we did when we were kids. And if you have seen any of your friends with kids, or maybe even have a child already, but what does a child do when they're running around in their nappy before they're so-called potty trained? They'll just squat down in their nappy, away they go. It's a natural instinct to squat, to release, and it gets potty trained out of us. However, what happens from there is we end up being, teenagers, young adults with severe bowel issues, because we don't cleanse the bowel the way it was meant to, the way it was perfectly designed by nature to, every single day. So, beer bellies, muffin tops, whatever we want to call them, carrying excess weight in this area is not natural. And if you want to address that and also address your fertile health, again, for men and women, please start using a bathroom footrest. As I said, it could be something you buy or something you make at home, doesn't matter. Just keep it beside your loo, and every time you go to do a bowel movement, use it. Make sure your knees get up above your hips. I mean, I can go into the anatomy of why that all works, but I want to keep this video short and sweet for you. So I'm going to keep going. But yeah, use that. You just need something that's about 22 to 24 centimeters in height, and that will be effective for most toilets. And I'd say just experiment with that. Most people within a week see a profound difference in how quickly they go to the bathroom. They spend less time on the loo. Their bowel movements are just easier. There's no pushing or straining. We were never that badly designed that we were meant to push and strain. No, not at all. So everything flows out easily, and at the end of your movement, your bowel actually feels properly emptied. All right, all of this is really good foundation for both conceiving and then growing your baby perfectly healthily to full term. So use a bathroom footrest. So that's the second thing I want to share with you this morning, because for me, what I call spring cleaning the baby's first room is paramount. It is paramount. And one of the easiest ways to do that is for all of us just to go to the bathroom properly, the way we were designed. And for many of you who've traveled in this world, you may have been to Asia or other countries where they use squat toilets. That is how we were designed to release, squatting. Okay. I'll leave that with you to ponder, but it is crucial. And anybody who goes through my course, my program, this is the first, these are the first foundational changes that we make. And these are the things that turn around the story of trying for months, a year, years. These are the things that turn these stories around literally within days or weeks, or maybe a few months, but that's nothing in comparison to struggling and straining and trying to conceive for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. One of my clients, 9 years. Alrighty. So, yep, I think you get the point. The next thing I want to share with you is around cleansing your environment, particularly your bathroom, the stuff in your bathroom, and the stuff in your kitchen, because so much of what we have in our environments as a whole, but so much of what is in the bathroom and the kitchen, particularly cleansing products for the kitchen and the bathroom, and also the cleansing products that we use on ourselves, are so full of hormone disrupting chemicals and, all sorts of strange things that we can't even pronounce or say. that are literally disrupting our hormones and causing havoc in all areas of our lives, physically, emotionally, mentally, but certainly when it comes to conceiving. Our bodies were never built to take the onslaught of chemicals that are in our environment today. And just as an example, most women in the Western world, or what I call the Western world, the first world, the civilized world, what have you, most women are being barraged by up to 500 chemicals a day. Imagine. And that comes obviously through our food, through chemicals, preservatives, and pesticides that are in or on our foods. The other way that this comes into our system is through our environment, through literally even the clothes that we wear, the paint on the walls, the stuff that's in the carpet, the stuff that we're breathing in. Car fumes, obviously, that's a big one. And particularly if you live in cities, where the environment around you is quite contaminated. So, that's a lot that our bodies are having to deal with daily. And add that into the mix of trying to conceive, and that's very difficult. And that's very difficult. Your body's in stress, actually, with all of those chemicals and hormone disruptors, and so it becomes difficult to conceive. And I'll come to stress again in a second. So the other thing is, well, what can we do? There's a lot that we can't control when it comes to that problem, but there's a lot that we can control. And what we can control is what we put in our mouths and what we have in our bathrooms and what we have in our kitchens. So my first, around cleansing your environment, my first suggestion would be that you remove from your kitchen anything that's not environmentally friendly. Just anything that's not good for the environment is not going to be good for you. So, really toxic stuff that you're washing dishes with or putting through the dishwasher or putting through your clothing when you wash it. Bleach, please get rid of that. It's so bad for our environment as a whole, and certainly absolutely not great for you to be breathing that stuff in. So cleanse your kitchen of anything that you just, look, if you can't read the ingredients on the label, say goodbye to it. The other thing is go into your bathroom, do the same with the products that you clean your bathroom, and then start looking at everything that you're putting on your skin, that you're putting in your body and on your body. What's in your toothpaste? What's on that moisturizer that you're putting on yourself every day? What's in the makeup that you're putting on? Today we are blessed to live in a world where we have access to so many amazing products, good products, organic products that don't hurt or harm us or the environment. And so I'd suggest that you start changing your products over. Failing that, you can even simplify, really, really simplify. You could be cleaning your bathroom and your kitchen, for example, with literally nothing more than bicarb soda. Yep, that's stuff that you make bread with or use in bread and baking. Bicarb soda and white vinegar. Both of those products will clean your kitchen and your bathroom like you will not believe, and neither of them will cause you any problems physically. The other thing is you can clean your body literally with bicarb soda. That's what I use. I don't put any weird, well, I just say it how it is. I just don't put any weird products on my body. Literally, my motto in life is if I can't eat it, I won't put it on my skin. Why? Because 60 to 70 to 80% of what we put on our skin goes straight through into our bodies, into our systems, into our blood. And again, all those chemicals are causing havoc. So you could use simply bicarb soda. I keep a little jar of it in the bathroom. I use that for washing my body. And the only thing I'll use on my body after that is certified organic coconut oil as a moisturizer. And again, these are the things that I get my clients to do. And when you do that cleansing of your body and of your environment that you can control, 500 chemicals a day disrupting your system. Wow, that's a lot. Just making some small changes at home, what you put on and in you will have such a massive impact and does have such a massive impact there. So Again, my motto is, and I really encourage all my clients to adopt this too, if you can't eat it or if you won't eat it, don't put it on your skin. Alrighty. And when you do these things, they're so simple. Of course, they're so simple, it almost defies reason, doesn't it? But imagine if you're somebody who right now is struggling to conceive, desperately wanting a baby. Imagine that. And a year goes by, and 2 years goes by, and 3 years goes by. And all of a sudden, you're like, why is this happening? Well, you've probably been asking that question for quite some time. But could it be the lack of water? Could it be the stuff that you're putting on your skin? And actually, when I mentioned skin, something that I believe is incredibly disruptive is perfume. If you are using an off-the-counter Chanel perfume or whatever brand of perfume, and again, you cannot read the ingredients of this, you definitely wouldn't drink it. Don't put it on your skin. These perfumes are so disruptive. In fact, I'm very sensitive to smell, for example. I'm very sensitive to toxic smells. So I can't literally be in a room when there's too many people wearing these full-on chemically, chemical-rich perfumes. Again, imagine not conceiving just because of your perfume. Imagine not conceiving for years just because you're dehydrated. Imagine not conceiving just because we're going to the bathroom all wrong. It shouldn't be like that. And so make those changes and, see how you go, and also see how you feel. Because when you make those kind of changes, it's not just for your baby. It's not just for you conceiving. It's for you, first and foremost, for your health. And once a healthy body, two healthy bodies coming together can conceive. A healthy body can grow a beautiful, perfect, healthy baby. That's nature. And I don't want you to think, oh, I'm saying you're dirty or your system's dirty. Like, we live in this environment where we all need a good cleanse now and then, where we all need this education. This is not unique to me or you. This is all of us. And it's just one of the areas that the problems of dehydration, too many chemicals around us, in us, through us, not going to the bathroom properly. Having a fertility challenge is just one area in life where the problems of these, the effects of this is coming through. And so when you experiment with drinking more water, going to the bathroom properly, getting rid of all these chemicals, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better physically, mentally, and emotionally, I promise you. So give it a go. Give it a go. And so then were the first three things. Now, there's another area that rarely gets spoken about when it comes to fertility, and I really want to press upon you how important it is. And the World Health Organization, for example, states that infertility and infertility challenge or diagnosis is because of a problem with the reproductive organs. Now, in some cases, that will be so, of course. But in many cases, and certainly in many cases that I've come across, that is not the truth at all. That is not a fact. And a lot of people are not conceiving because of limiting beliefs that they don't even know they have or that they're carrying. And so what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to give you a fairly broad example first. So if you can imagine the life cycle of a woman. Okay, I'm going to tell you my life cycle. And it's my life cycle in relation to pregnancy, all right? So I'm a young girl, all's well and good. I get to be a teenager. I get to be interested in sex. I get interested in boys, all of that. And it doesn't take long when you're a teenager, female teenager, that you start being told, you get messages all around you, don't get pregnant. Having a baby is going to be a terrible thing. Be careful with that boy. If you come home pregnant, we're kicking you out. Whatever it is, like, you get all these messages. And we are told from a very young age, our mid-teens or early teens, that getting pregnant could ruin our lives. Now, these are the messages, and the messages are coming certainly from parents, from family, from our environment, from our schools, from our teachers, doctors, etc. The media, big one. Okay, and fair enough. We don't want our teenage girls getting pregnant. That's fine. But as a hypnotherapist, it's my job to share with you how your mind works and how this is having a big impact on whether women can conceive or not. And so that's the first really heavy messages. Add to that, there'll be a lot of people, myself included, where a friend of ours when we were young became pregnant, and we saw the, very disruptive and difficult situation that she ended up in. So we start to fear pregnancy, is the point I'm trying to make. We start to fear becoming pregnant. Being pregnant, becoming pregnant could literally ruin your life and make life very, very difficult for you. Then we go into our 20s, often early 30s, and, we're emancipated, we have freedom, we're enjoying life. What can I say? Of course we are. And most or many of us will protect or medicate against becoming pregnant. Nothing wrong with that. This is life. That's great. But all of this is telling your mind over and over and over again that becoming pregnant is not a good thing. Having a baby is not a good thing. In fact, it's something to be feared and, protected against. So, and then, often in our 20s and 30s, we might have gone through, as I did, a pregnancy scare where you thought you were pregnant. You weren't maybe at that time, but you thought you were. And it was like the roof caved in on your life. Life was over. It was the wrong time, the wrong person. You didn't have the means. You didn't even have the desire. On and on it goes. Again, that's all fine and well and good. But what you're telling your mind over and over and over, pregnancy is not a good thing. Pregnancy is something to fear and something to avoid at all costs. And then the day comes eventually when, maybe we're in our early 30s or mid 30s, for many of my clients, late 30s, early 40s, and you want to be pregnant. Everything is aligned. Again, this is all right. This is all great. This is all good. Right partner, right time, have the financial security, are emotionally and mentally ready to be a parent. Great. However, what's not great, and what most people don't know, is that there's been this conditioning over years, sometimes decades, of don't get pregnant. Pregnancy is something that is not going to be good for you. On and on it goes, right? And then the day comes, flip it around, do a 180, and all of a sudden everything's right, everything's great. It's time to be pregnant. But the earlier conditioning is still running. The earlier conditioning has never been changed. That program in your mind, that program in your subconscious mind now, that's still running for many people. Of course it is. And so you have to do some work to change that conditioning. Even if it's just as simple as saying to yourself every day over and over and over, this is the right time, the perfect time for me and my partner to be pregnant. This is the right time, the perfect time for me to have a baby. This is the right, it's exciting, it's joyful, it's wonderful for me to be pregnant now. It's exciting, it's joyful, it's the perfect time for me to be pregnant now. You'll find the right words for you, but you have to tell your mind this over and over and over and over again. It needs to hear it. It has to hear it because it needs you to reprogram yourself and your mind to know that this is a good thing for you now. And your mind learns by repetition. That's how the mind learns. That's why when we're learning to walk as babies, we got to keep walking and do it over and over and over again, and eventually it clicks. That's why when we're learning to drive, it's difficult in the beginning, how to do the clutch and steering and indicate and all that stuff at the same time. And then one day, after you've done it for a while, conditioning, repetition, it just clicks in. Now, it's the same when you have an idea that's been in your mind. It's an idea, it's a belief that's been there, it's been conditioned in, programmed in. First it was by, the environment outside of you, and then eventually it's you. And we have to overturn that conditioning. We have to change it. We have to change that program. So again, Say to yourself, write it everywhere, write it in your diary, write it in your phone, write it in your journal, write it on the wall if you have to. But tell your mind over and over again, it is safe. It is exciting. It is pleasurable. It's the perfect time for me and my partner to be pregnant and have a baby right now. Tell your mind what it needs to know. This is highly, highly important. And again, an area that is not necessarily considered when we come to the journey of attempting to have a family and have a baby. So that would be the fourth thing I want to share with you today, is you have to recondition your mind to conceive easily. Alrighty. And the fifth thing I want to share with you today, and I'm touching on some things, I'm really touching on some things that will be so helpful. There will be people who watch this video, who start drinking more water, go to the bathroom properly, who cleanse their bodies and their environments, and who change the conditioning in their minds. And boom, they will conceive. And the other thing, actually, just before I go on, because it's super, super important, give yourself permission to conceive. Whether you're 30, 35, 38, 39, 40, 42, just give yourself permission to conceive. There's an idea out there. It's almost like, how dare women, wait till later in life to conceive and have a baby. And this is very, it's a very overwhelming idea, that if you haven't done it by the time you're in your late 20s, well, it's over and out for you. Yes, things change in your body, but there are ways and methods and tools that we can use to literally reclaim our fertile health. That's why I call this program that. And if you like, youthen our bodies and youthen our reproductive organs. So don't buy into this "I'm too old" idea. I had a client once, she was 37 or 38 at the time, and she just let in that message so hard that, she and her partner were struggling for, it was 6 to 8 months, can't remember now, it's a couple of years ago, to conceive. And she was the most fertile looking woman I've ever seen in my life. She stood before me, all I saw was a fertile, beautiful woman, very youthful as well. And literally, in a very short time of us working together, she got the idea of giving herself permission. She was so caught up in this idea, I'm too old, I'm too old. Whereas I'm like, I'm not, you're not. That's not what I see. Everybody else might be telling you that. Your mum, your doctor, the media, whatever. I said, that's not what I see. Change your mind. Just change your mind. Give yourself permission to see yourself as youthful, fertile, ready. Give yourself permission. She turned around that story literally within days, because she gave herself permission to conceive despite the fact that she was 38. She thought she had to suffer just because she was older. That's not the truth. So give yourself permission to conceive whatever age you are. And when you're ready, you're ready. That's just how it is. You can't force or push yourself to be ready for something like having a child or a family. And it's a really important topic, I believe. Give yourself permission and expect the best. Don't expect to have problems, expect the best. And all of this is around how to work with your mind to reclaim your fertile health. So, and the last thing is coaching. It's so easy to get from A to B in life if you know where you're going and you know how to get there. It's easy, or it's a lot easier, let's say. And so I'm going to come back to the story of my sister for a second. So she was 35 when she and her partner, her husband, my brother-in-law, decided that they would start a family. Within a year, it was advised that they go for IVF because she basically received an unexplained infertility diagnosis, which, number one, means nothing, tells you nothing, but leaves you in a very frantic state going, I'm infertile. And I don't like that diagnosis because I think it's very damaging, and I think it goes on to cause a lot of fertility challenges. So she believed that diagnosis. She believed I'm infertile. Once somebody in a white coat with a stethoscope tells you that you're infertile, very difficult to believe otherwise, because they are the expert, aren't they? What do you know? You've never even tried to have a child before. So there she was at 35. And then they went on to do 5 failed IVF cycles. At the end of that period of time, just to make the story shorter, I lived in Australia, she lived in Ireland. I came back for a visit for a holiday. And because I'd been working in my professional life as a massage therapist for 10 years by then, and I'd helped so many women to conceive through massage, which is something I haven't even touched on today, I'll leave that for the next video. But because I'd had success with women, I asked if she would work with me, if I could work with her. Anyway, she let me. And over the next 6 weeks that I was around, we did a lot of massage on her abdominal area. We did, the work I called spring cleaning your baby's first room, making space for your baby to conceive, live, and grow in there. And anyway, we did beautiful work. None of it hard, none of it difficult, none of it that you need any real particular skill for. You can do it on yourself. And but also did work with her mind. She needed to change some things in her mind, because her mind was a really big block to her conceiving at this point, particularly with the diagnosis, and also the feelings that she was having around not being able to see or look at or be around other pregnant women. And this is a tricky one for the mind. I really want you to hear this. But if you are struggling, if you're somebody who wants to have a baby, and the sight of somebody else having a baby or being pregnant distresses and upsets you, you're telling your mind, literally every time that you do that, that having a baby will cause me pain. And your mind's job is to stop you from having pain, because its job is to keep you alive on this planet. It has to keep you away from pain. If you equate pain, emotional pain, with having a baby, your mind will stop you having a baby. So we did that work with her. We changed her mind, and so she could see other women who were pregnant, go and see friends with new babies at the time, and she could because we'd done the work, she could be in those environments, be around those people, and be joyful and happy for them. And all of this, what I'm sharing with you, is what turned around her story from grief and monthly loss and upset and distress and emotional turmoil, not to mention the effects of the chemicals from the IVF through all that time, and the up and down that so many women go through. It's very, very hard on your body. And within 6 weeks, she's pregnant naturally at the age of 40 for the first time in her life, and then goes on to have a beautiful baby boy. So these things I'm sharing with you, they're very simple. They're very simple. In fact, they're almost annoyingly simple, aren't they? But you just have to do them. It's one thing for me to share with you, this is what you do, but then you actually have to do them. And the easiest way to do them is to get coaching. So obviously I'm really good at that. So I'm happy to take you through the journey that I share. It's 8 weeks through the online program. I meet with you and all the other women on the program once a week, and we go through what needs to be done. We do the work together to reclaim your fertile health, to spring clean your baby's first room, and to open you up to conceive, grow your beautiful little baby and have your family. So that option is always there for you. You just have to reach out, send me an email, send me a direct message. I'm open to having a chat with you if you're serious about reclaiming your fertile health. But actually, when I say that, if you're serious, I mean if you're willing to put in the work for at least 2, if not 3 months, and make change in your life, make change that's going to make changes for you, So we'll be covering everything: food, diet, exercise, everything. Your physical body, your emotional body, and how you think. We'll be changing it all. So it's intensive, it's work, and it is only for those who are serious about doing it. So if you are, do get in touch with me and we can set you up to go on that journey straight away. The thing about trying is you can stay in the area of trying, or you can take action and do what needs to be done to turn your family story around. And often that's quite quickly. With my sister, it was 6 weeks. With another client I mentioned earlier in this chat, it was literally within days. This client here that I showed you on my phone, who's been trying for 3.5 years, we turned her story around in 6.5 months. That was a bit longer. Does it matter? No, because today she's pregnant. She's about 3 or 4 months pregnant now, and she's excited, and she sees a future with her baby, with her family, the thing that she's wanted for the last 4 years. And so she was willing to do the work. So my question with you today is, are you willing to do the work to turn your fertility story, your family story around so that you can conceive and grow healthily and perfectly and beautifully your little baby and bring them into the world sooner rather than later? So get in touch. You can contact me through reclaimyourfertility.com. You can contact me at Nemara at reclaimyourfertility.com, or you can contact me through Instagram or Facebook, wherever suits. So the program is 8 weeks. You'll be part of a private Facebook group of other women going through this journey with you, supporting you, encouraging you, celebrating all the little wins with you along the way. And there's many wins, by the way, which I haven't even discussed here. I'll tell you one right now. A very, very significant win for many of the women as they go through this journey straight away is they have better, healthier, more regular periods. They menstruate better. So that's a first significant shift. And when you start to see shifts in your body, you know that you're going to make your baby happen. You know, you start to see your skin's better. You feel better. You've got more energy. You've got more vitality. Your mindset's better. You're focusing on what you want and who you want, not what you don't want. Highly important. And so shift starts to happen quickly. And when you see those shifts in yourself, you start to believe, you start to trust, and you start to know that you can bring your baby into the world. And that's a massive, massive shift through having coaching. So yes, again, do get in touch. It's reclaimyourfertility.com, Nemara at reclaimyourfertility.com. Again, you can contact me through direct message through Instagram or Facebook, and I'll look forward to hearing from you soon. We can have a chat. If the program's for you, I'll invite you in. If it's not, I'll point you in a direction that may serve you better. So thanks for your time today. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to working with you soon if that's what's meant to be. All right. Blessings to you and your partner, and have a beautiful day.